changes. I'd say all for the positive. Some changes that have been going on with the Bronco, and I did 2 episodes, one this morning and one yesterday, Bronco Maverick. So I'm definitely not here to repeat all that, but definitely gonna add on to that. So I never was able, within a 10-minute video, to get to some pretty important stuff. We're gonna talk about price, and we're also gonna be talking, sorry about that French right there, we're gonna be talking about price, and we're also gonna be talking about percentages. You know, what's constrained to what percentage to help you all pick your build and also help pick your build out at the right price. We'll also talk about how hybrids can, they can definitely save the planet, and they can also ruin your life. They can save your life or take your life. So we'll talk about the importance of, we'll have a little section. We normally always do Don't Be Fooled. We'll do a bit of that, but this is going to be a section called Don't Be That Driver. So very important. We'll want to go through Don't Be That Driver. Now, obviously, no one who drives a BMW ever seems to watch my show, because otherwise they wouldn't be driving like BMW drivers. But tonight, I'm not going to pick on BMW drivers. It's going to be a rare incident. Normally, I'm always picking on BMW drivers. I have owned one.
You remember you were a BMW driver?
Yeah, and as soon as I sat in that seat, I became a horrible driver. So the question is, certain models of cars, do they attract bad drivers, or do you become a bad driver once you have that vehicle? Now, the Mustang definitely encourages me to be a very naughty driver, but a very good naughty driver. Very alert, always using my turn signals, and when merging into traffic on the highway, going the correct speed. We've got a lovely lady with us this evening, so we're going to talk about, of course, the new Mustang. I want her to share her unbiased opinions with you all. Of course, I'm a little biased. I own Ford stocks. I have a close connection with Ford, we could say. I've always loved all Ford models. In the 2000s, I was not a Ford fan. Actually, I was very much a Toyota fan until I had all sorts of issues with pretty much all the Toyotas I owned. That's a different story for a different day, but I bought one of those Toyotas back. If you follow the channel, if you're a subscriber, you'll see I also do MR2 videos, because I bought back my personal original MR2, not the same model, the same VIN. So let's get talking about these VINs, because we're all looking to get our VIN assigned, aren't we? And I want to congratulate the people that got their VIN assigned recently. Please drop it in the comments section, share that good news, because media just only likes to seem to want to share bad news that, draws people in, and sometimes they even share bad news. So maybe if you follow the channel, recently had a big beef with the Velocity channel, getting our hopes up, saying huge Maverick production number increase coming, so many more of Mavericks are going to get built, and then they link this to the Blue Oval City, which is not going to build a single Maverick until one day when the Maverick goes EV. It's got good chances to get built at the Blue Oval City, but I've already picked that bone. I've gotten that all that poison out of my system. Let's now just get right down to the nitty and gritty. So everyone seems to be in the house now. So nitty and gritty. Marie, I've got news for you.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, your Maverick, your 2023 Maverick, almost cost a whole lot more. And might still, in the States.
I still don't have it. That's not the news that I expected.
No, I checked today. She still doesn't have a build for her July 17th hybrid XLT. So no move there, but we're actually really happy with a lot of the changes that are coming to the Maverick. The XL's getting cruise control. So thank you so much, Ford, for listening. So they're giving us a better deal there. And we also mentioned that, Tim did a video, just really an amazing, concise video saying these are the 10 things Ford should do. And a good number of them got dropped. I generally seem to put my complaints in really small, not complaints, but suggestions in small doses here and there. So we've both, Tim Bartz, if you're not subscribed to his channel, make sure to do that. He is a fantastic individual. He is a gentleman and a scholar and knows more than just anyone on the net in regards to the Ford product. Now, here's the thing. The Maverick, it's going up in price, so make sure you do get the right price. The XL, That now has cruise control, so they've given us more value. There's a lot of people were getting kicked into an XLT, and now there's a lot of reason to stay in an XL. Some dealers might tell you that, I had just read a comment before going live here, and someone said, my dealer told me that they had no XL allocations left, so I had to take an XLT. I would like more data on that. I'd like to hear this from more people around, but I know in my region, we're not getting word of that. Mind you, there's all sorts of issues with ordering a Maverick right now, doing the conversions for my region because, well, the Canadian build and price site is obviously often weeks or months behind, but now the order guide for the Canadian side, we don't have an order guide and we don't have a price guide. So we haven't been able to put in any Mavericks, and even the system, if you try to convert a 22 to a 23, the system's not taking them. So at least that's fair. It's going to let, give everyone a fair chance to put them in at the same time. If you're in the States though, prices are out and you should be getting them. XLT Luxury, they listened. So many of us were just saying, give us our Maverick. We don't care about the drop-in plastic bed liner. We don't care about the spray-in bed liner. We'll do that when we get it. Now, if you are converted, there is price protection in the States. There's now price protection for Lightnings. So I think my kind gesture won't end up costing me 12 grand. Still waiting for official news. But in regards to the Maverick, there is a rebate that should be mailed to you if your dealer did a proper COVP, if they did a customer order verification process or procedure. It's both a process and a procedure, so let's not fuss over that. But the numbers, now I'm gonna, actually great, I don't have to do this from memory. I've got the hybrid, you're gonna save $2,750. And surprisingly, that's about what it went up by. Not so surprisingly, being sarcastic, but not doing a good job of it. And the gas, you should get a protection of $1,750. So that protection, it's no longer up to the dealer. Thank you, Ford, for not counting on the dealer to do that. They're going to email you, letting you know that if you have an EcoBoost, great, you're converted and you're saving $1,750 off the cost. Hold on to that. That's your golden ticket. Hybrid, we've got $2,750. Now for those price increases, to make sure you get the right price, XL, Crew, Cab, front wheel drive, you should be paying $22,195. Do keep in mind all these prices, you have to add $1,495 for destination and delivery. And that's normal. That's not the dealership trying to rob you. That's just part of the suggested retail price. So XL, $22,195. XLT, still front wheel drive, $24,455. Lariat, Crew Cab, they're all Crew Cabs. So I'll just say Lariat, front wheel drive, $27,955. Then we've got the XLT XLT all-wheel drive, $24,455. And then for roughly a little over $3,000 more, you get into a Lariat all-wheel drive at $27,955. So $3,500 more if you want to go XLT to Lariat. So those are your prices, but then the packages, of course, let's just finish up the all-wheel drives. XL all-wheel drive with, preferred equipment packages. You've got the XL with all-wheel drive and 2-liter EcoBoost. That's running you $2,200. The XLT, so basically the EcoBoost is a $2,200 option now. Sorry, $2,220. The XLT all-wheel drive, so going all-wheel drive on the XLT, that's costing you $2,220. And the Lariat is, going all-wheel drive on that means, of course, EcoBoost. Unfortunately, there's no hybrid all-wheel drive news for 2023 unless, it means it's probably going to go to 24. I don't expect a surprise near the end of the year, but that's also $2,220. So should have just said, if you're going all-wheel drive, it's normal that your dealer adds $2,220. Now the 4K package, $745. FX4 off-road package, $800. Tremor Tremor package is $2,995, and if you do tremor package with the appearance package, I wouldn't personally pay the appearance package. I think the tremor is an amazing deal, but then when you add the appearance package with the tremor, $4,490 total doing tremor and appearance package. I just get the tremor. That's awesome. That's a baby raptor, and that is well worth the money. And when we talk about percentages, you're going to know you need to go out and get a tremor reservation down. Well, sorry, order. We're not reserving online anymore. I want to clarify that. You're going into a dealership and you're ordering. What you can do is use the order guide so that when you do walk into the dealer, you know what to expect. You can't be sold some bologna when you ask for some steak. You'll get your steak if you know what steak looks like. So that's the order guide and the price guide. Or just take notes as I talk. We're here to help. And as such, if you want to help us out, actually, just take a moment to say, do please hit that like button. Share it with people that need to hear this. You might be saving them thousands of dollars. And subscribe. It does help feed a poodle, dress a poodle, and it might even help to do something else for us poodle related. But this isn't a poodle show. I'm sorry. The thumbnail was a poodle. That was... Marie was totally embarrassed when she saw that, and I told her,
No, John, it was a technical bug, we could say.
No, it was an idiot bug. I'm a dummy, and I was brushing my teeth with the electrical, so one hand, and I was getting the live show. I wanted to give everyone ample time to know that there was going to be a live show tonight. So here I am with the right finger, and I click, okay, yeah, it's scheduled, make it happen, put out the post. And then I realized it's going to take a picture of me. And I'm brushing my teeth, obviously, no shirt on, because I'm a dummy, and toothpaste is likely going to stay in my clothes.
Try to do too much stuff at the same time.
So it's either that or turn the camera and take a picture of Winston. So that's how you got a picture of Winston.
Making not the best one, but
making this the dumbest Ford News channel, possibly just the dumbest automobile channel available on YouTube. So I'm sorry for that. I did not mean to embarrass us all, since we're a community helping each other out.
It's the face of a channel. You always said it helps to feed a poodle, so yeah, it's not that bad.
He's like a Maverick, small, right-sized, and awesome. He's right-sized. We can take him anywhere. Moving on. So all your other options. So I just want to cover the real important ones that have been interesting people. Of course, the trailer hitch receiver with 4-pin connector, $100 US, $400 in Canada. So you guys get it lucky on that one. XLT luxury package. Having trouble here, gonna have to zoom in. Marie, I'm not wearing my glasses. You might have to help me out with that. What does that look like here, luxury package?
Yeah, to 2,610.
Okay, and the XLT luxury package?
Only $1,730.
Okay, that's nice. The XLT package still costing less than when you add luxury package to a Lariat. So know that, so that you're prepared for your dealer, and of course, get a signed purchase offer. And if they won't give you a purchase offer, if you do sign like a build sheet, make sure either by hand or that they print it right off onto that sheet that they will sell you, ideally at that current 2023 price. That's, you've negotiated extremely well and you're doing a great job there. Or also it can be, future internet price. That's still not bad at all. What we want to avoid is markup. We want to avoid, $2,000 in dealer fees. We want to avoid fees, forced fees for, magical paint protection, hundreds of dollars for putting special gases in the tires. We've got enough gas in life. We don't need it in our tires, and we certainly don't want to spend $500 for it. So get them to sign, promise exactly what that deal is going to look like when it comes in. Someone asked me today, Johnny, comment in the sections, Johnny, would you pay an extra $1,495 in markup for a Maverick? And I don't know how to answer that one. And I guess the answer is truthfully, yes. I put a deposit, $5,000 deposit for Porsche. This channel's definitely not paying for that. That's coming out of my wallet. But thank you. I do definitely appreciate having this channel, helping people out, and it does help make a vehicle's payment, but certainly not the Porsche level payment. But anyways, I paid an extra $1,000. The dealer fee, I saw $1,000. I'm like, well, you know, on the overall price of the car, 1,000 Canadian, which was about 700 American. I'll live with that. Fair. And they also made me sign a sheet that said that I get no priority in line based on when I get in line, which Ford you do. That's cool. I found that less cool. It said there's no guarantee I'll get an allotment in a build, and they get to choose when and also what they build for me. I just get to pick the color and the overall model. Then they get to add $20,000 in stuff that of the $20,000, I want $4,000 of what's on that list. And I tried to negotiate with them, be like, look, I'll be willing to take 6, 7, 8, you know, here. First I was like, I'll take an extra 4 and nothing else. That's what I'm doing. And they're like, well, no, it will be basically that. An extra 20 of equipment. And there's just no negotiating with them. So at a certain point, you can call another dealer, see if they're going to be more fair. Or you can just bite the bullet and say, I'll get more equipment on the vehicle. So for the client, sorry, for the comment, said client, for the comment that said, my dealer's telling me that I need to get an XL. They have no XL allocations left, so it has to be an XLT. I'd say that is it's not impossible, it's plausible. But I'd also say it's very likely that for them in their mindset, they don't want to waste an allocation on something that pays basically nothing. You know, it pays a couple $100 to the wash team. It just basically pays the employees and doesn't help going towards taxes and all this. And someone's probably going to correct me. I was saying Porsche and I should have been saying Porsche. I'm sorry, I'm just not that classy. We'll have to deal with it and move on. I felt attacked before. Another show was talking about YouTube people that shouldn't be on YouTube because they don't pronounce manufacturers' names correctly. And I was figuring, hey, I'm that guy. I'll take that. That's fair. So moving on, because I'm slightly embarrassed.
You know what? M Peugeot saying maybe it's Mary will buy the Porsche so she can get rid of the Toyota MR2. No, sorry, M Peugeot, I don't have that kind of money for now. I will stay with my Maverick only. But yes, we won't have it anyway right now. So for now, we're good with the place and the space in the garage. But when it will comes, we will need to get rid of the Toyota or the ATV. She's one of them.
Yeah, she's made me make that choice, so she's totally fine with the 911. She also probably figures all we love the Bronco. It's incredible. I've said it before. When I'm driving it, I feel like I could be driving a $200,000 exotic. It is pretty exotic. Wish it was less exotic, but Ford's working on that. That was a lot to do with top issues and everyone basically figuring if it's not a wild track, it's not great. So many people ordered a wild track. Ash Paul, thank you so much for the tip, the little help towards the channel.
We'll have to pay the Porsche, thank you.
Maddie loves being told that she looks great, so very nice of you, very kind of you. So basically, you know, at Ford, we're all here. We're mostly a Ford community, and we're always talking Ford. But I always try to keep an open perspective. You know, I compare what's going on at, you know, over at GM, Chevrolet, Corvettes, trucks. Their Corvette takes longer than almost anything on the market, whereas their trucks it's just a little bit faster, average than an F-150. I try to keep us all updated on that stuff and have an open-mindedness to it all. Like even M. Peugeot has sent me photos of his Ferrari before, which I absolutely love. And I couldn't possibly afford a Ferrari because I couldn't afford the maintenance and the repairs. So that's why I like to roll new. I've always found rolling new, despite payments being very high, it costs quite a bit. Gene, that is very, very generous of you.
Wow.
Not necessary, but thank you so much. You've got great news. Got a build date for my Bronco. And does it show up? Actually, I'll get off the price list. We'll get back to that and talk about constraints in just a moment because that's the real important stuff. So let's just see. I don't want to miss, in case there's a question there. So Gene says, got a build date for my Bronco, need to reorder my Mav, but no longer in a hurry. So I'm slapping Tremor on that bad boy. Awesome, congratulations. That is a baby Raptor. The shocks are going to be made for the whoops, the dips, the little jumps. So here's just a token of gratitude for keeping me informed the past year. Thank you so much. Ash Paul, you already tipped, so that's not necessary. Sucks that my wild track order is scheduled for the September 26th week, and now Ford decides. Oh man, yeah, that is rough. That's just it would be such amazing news that you're getting built, and I'd say, like, I'm gonna say to Gene, congratulations, you're getting built. But for people that have a wild track and they get a late wild track, it's good and bad news. Because I highly suspect, yes, it's definitely coming with Haas 3.0, Fox, two-tube system. Currently, the Bilsteins are two-tube systems as well. But the Fox is beefier. It's going to be even better at doing long stretches of very rough terrain at pretty high speeds. But I do suspect, so yeah, it sucks you're not going to get that. The wild track, the Sasquatch suspension, though, we've played around in fields with it. We went on the beach. We've played around in sand pits. It's extremely good. But the other suspension is better, but I do suspect that the price of the wild track is gonna go up. Because previously, if you noticed, you build a Badlands Bronco with the 2.7 liter and the Sasquatch, and end up being more than a wild track. Well, I think now the wild track is going to be more expensive than the most built Badlands you can have. We'll also talk about the wild track when we get to constraints, so we're almost there. I'm sorry I got off on a tangent, but while I look for my other chart again, if anyone wants, by the way, you're all subscribers here in the live, so I'll share it with y'all. And I'll actually make sure I really share it with the members. But you can email us at Johnny's Car Care and Reviews at gmail.com. But that's Johnny with one N. So that's the little secret. Johnny's Car Care and Reviews at Gmail. Now, if ever I get 20 emails in one day, I will have to prioritize towards getting back to the people who are members, because that's part of my promise to members, but I will do my best nonetheless to get to everyone. And
yeah, guys, you're on fire tonight. Thank you, M. Peugeot.
And Peugeot, yes, your Ferrari is very impressive, and I like your humbleness. That is an important trait, being humble. So you're being humble there, and you're crediting hard work, which is just fantastic. That's the type of wealth that I respect. It's wealth made from hard work. Now, moving back on the list, so the other big ones, because they're not gonna, your dealer, any dealer most likely isn't gonna say, oh yeah, you've picked X color that has a surcharge, we're going to surcharge you $4,000 for that color. Where they might get you is in regards to the Lariat Luxury Package, $2,600, XLT Luxury Package, $1,730. Black Appearance Package. This is new, and I want to talk about this in regards to the MAV. The Black Appearance Package, I think, at $1,645 is a fantastic deal. I like what's on it. So you have 17-inch aluminum 17-inch aluminum black painted wheels. They look good, but do remember, if you go with an FX4 kit, you do get some amazing black wheels. You're getting, oh, I'm sorry, I'm not at the right place. I'll need to go for the Black Appearance Package. I'll actually, and this is why, even people, when you go into a dealer, they can get prices wrong deliberately or mostly deliberately, but they can also get the packaging wrong. So do make sure that it's good to have an order guide. Now, I'm not sharing anything, it does say confidential on it, and I'm not posting it all over the place, but these are posted all over the place. So I shouldn't get in trouble for this, but the Black Appearance Package, it's offered on the XLT as well as the Lariat. And it is pretty nice. Oh, sorry. Oh my goodness, Pipes 302, thank you so much. Very, very kind, very generous. And again, thank you to all the very, very generous donations coming in.
Yeah, thank you so much. We appreciate that.
And then the channel maybe will pay for the Porsche in the end. So very kind. Not necessary. I don't want anyone to feel obligated that that's something we need to do in the lives, but it is extremely, it does help. Just recently, while getting the vehicles ready to do MR2 footage, I took out the pressure washer and bringing it in. Mustang's bumpers, they're made of plastic, and a hot pressure washer's exhaust will cut through it like butter. So yeah,
we need to do a reparation.
I will have a little, not a short, but a 2-minute video of Marie talking about what she thinks of me in regards to
I
that.
guess you already know.
Yeah, how did you feel about that?
Be careful next time.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess you won't let me wash the vehicle while I'm also trying to tune a vehicle with a friend. Isn't that right?
Yeah, your attention was everywhere, but not on the Mustang, I guess.
Now, speaking of my attention being everywhere, I do want to mention that the XLT luxury package, as well as the Lariat luxury package, it used to be a leather-wrapped heated steering wheel, and now it's a soft vinyl-wrapped heated steering wheel. So I'm going to get back to you on really how that feels once the first 2023s do come in. I'm not going to talk everything that's in the Tremor package because I've done a whole video on that. I do love the FX4 off-road package because it's practical. If you get it on the XLT, it even gives you the screen behind the steering wheel. That's the screen off the Lariat. So you're getting a bit of a Lariat feel on your interior, which is really awesome. But the black appearance package, from memory, since I've seen there's so many pages to these guides, it's a black interior. So for anyone that's been upset about the interiors, and I do want to get to that because the Tremor's interior is black. That's one way to get that interior, but I'm just about to get to it as I'm in the Lariat black appearance package. So 17-inch black wheels if you're on the XLT, but if you're on the Lariat, it's 18-inch aluminum black wheels. It's important that it's aluminum, less mass rotating. You've got, of course, the logos black, so very much like the black appearance packages on the F250 and the F150. The door handles, also black. Grille, black. Mirrors, seats, black. So if you don't want to go all the way to a Tremor, but you just want your black interior, go with the black appearance package. You've got that interior black. You've got your interior accents that are going to be black. You got special headlamps. Now, just like all the other Ford products that have a black appearance package, your headlamps are going to be, it's interesting, the housing is actually dark inside, so it gives it an aggressive look. I'd call this the aggressive sports look package. Even your tail lamps are going to be darker than usual, but not available with the FX4 off-road package according to this, and not available with the Tremor package, obviously. So choices to be made. Now, I'm not going to talk about any of the other prices for the options on the Maverick, because very important, I do need to reiterate and re-emphasize, ideally do not put things on your build such as a bed liner. It's great that the luxury packages, they've now taken away the spray-in, they've taken away the drop-in, because those were holding things up. It's ridiculous, but plastic essentially comes, the base, just the base product. My brain's in French again, but that's coming from Russia for the most part, for the whole globe. So you want to be avoiding plastic. And I know it sounds silly. I've been saying this now for must be 16, 17 months. Mud guards, mud flaps or splash guards, whatever you want to call them, they're going to slow down your order. And it doesn't seem like that big of a deal. And this is why on the channel, Marie's been working hard to actually make a list of accessories we can get for our Ford products, and we're going to start dropping them in on all our descriptions. Now, I want to...
Yeah, I found some stuff that are pretty cute and will be good with all the day that you use the car, so yeah.
Honey, dresses are cute. You're cute. I want to make sure everyone in the community here knows that, the parts, I would not call them cute. I'd say they're either very useful or, they add looks to the vehicle.
Yeah, they add looks. That's what I was saying, but, I'm not that good in English, so...
Yeah, Marie has told me before that she's embarrassed to talk on the show because anything that she thinks, though really the only word to express positive feelings in regards to something that's visual is to call it cute. Yeah. And I'm like, honey, just Google thesaurus and we can practice these words together.
Yeah, but I found so many stuff. I didn't know that we could have so much accessories on a car.
Yeah.
So we need to only take the good ones
Yep.
that we think it's a good one because there's too many stuff
And
available.
if you don't like our recommendation, let's say you go in and you're looking at F-150, Lightning, Maverick, Bronco, whatever the model, and you go into our mats, interior floor mats section, and you don't like the style of the one we picked out, that's totally okay. You don't have to pick that one. You can pick any of the ones on Amazon that work for you. So we're going to put on our Amazon links first.
But you will have an idea of
Yeah.
how much it could cost.
And we will try to get some eBay motor links in there as well for different products that you just can't get on Amazon that are more like, tuning chip, air intake. Brother with his Mustang GT, he threw on a air intake as well as a tuner. Absolutely loving it, and still getting better fuel economy than me. So yeah, he added performance parts to his vehicle, but I get 12 liters per 100 kilometers and he gets 9, so he gets 30% more fuel economy. So it looks more like I needed the tuner and the air intake and he doesn't, but I won't pick on him on this show since he's not here to defend himself. Now that we know that my brother drives part of the time at least like he's 84, and that's fine. Let's get back to the show here. Percentages. So we've got percentages. Hun, is it okay if I look at the percentages right here? Or do you need to have the show's screen showing
fine.
up? Okay, great. So percentages, basically constraints, what the factory can build. Now, sorry, I'll just really quickly, Chris, thank you so much. Very generous of you. Thank
you.
Just says here, hey guys, just wondering if you have any idea what's happening with Canadian 2022 Mavs turning into 23. My dealer knows what's happening in the US, but has no info for Canada. Ford, forget about us. No. Ford is adjusting to less white collar employees. Fantastic question, and it has been stressing me out this week. Well, the last 2 days. Nothing Thursday, nothing Friday. So I made some calls, and I made some calls to the right places. So basically, even for the Mach-E, 2023 Mach-E, that's been out for a month now? Still no intel within the system, because there's a process. Ford Canada needs to send the info, the price sheet, as well as the order guide to one company. That company works everything into, I guess, our logiciel. We'll use the French word on this one, but yeah, we speak French all the time at home, even though I'm an anglophone.
No, maybe?
Yeah, a computing system, but our logiciel, and everything goes into there, and then it gets sent to the company that dealerships use to count vehicles. So as much as the last company, as much as the dealer wants their system to have the intel, it all boils down to Ford getting the order guide. So simply put, Canada, we don't have an order guide yet, so don't worry. And we also don't have a price list. Also don't worry, because here's the cool part. Ford knows that the system's not ready yet and that they haven't passed on the intel to the right, companies. To get it all into the dealership systems. So Ford isn't allowing, let's say someone who is quick and on the ball, we can't slide in, we can't convert 2022s to 2023s. They want to give everyone a fair, equal try and have things open up for everyone. So someone that just is, really eager and goes, well, you know what? I'm going to put it through anyways because I talked with my client and, they said they're fine with, the bedliners being out. They still want their luxury package and they realize that the price is going to be roughly, $3-4 grand more. Just go. I want my MAV. As long as you sell it to me at internet price, I'm so happy. Let's make it happen. Well, even in that case, and you get all your signatures, the system's not taking them because the system's not ready. So let's talk about constraints. Real important here, constraints. Wild track. That's a big constraint because right now the factory of all the Broncos that they can make, got a sore throat, can make 21% of those Broncos as wild tracks. And being that this was an early reservation model and so many people, we all reserved without really many people, so many tens of thousands of people reserved without being able to really fully analyze the different equipments using a build-in price. everyone jumped on either a first edition or a wild track. So many wild tracks, much more than 21%. And that's why if you have a wild track, you're waiting quite a long time. And there can be a huge difference between one dealer and another dealer because some dealers so gleefully and happily tralalaed along and, you know, not just doubled their orders because we all had ideas of how many we would get for the year, but, you know, did times 10. So no hope if you're at one of those dealers. And my recommendation is order a second Bronco from another dealer. For example, Long MacArthur. They will mention that you know Tim, and they will get you in on an order for a Maverick or a Bronco, because both could be very good to have a second order, but you need to absolutely be fair to your dealer. Whichever dealer gets a VIN number first, call up the other dealer. Now, let's say Long MacArthur tells you, oh, but where you are on our list, you should be getting one in, you know, a couple weeks. I definitely pick Long MacArthur because I know the deal's going to end properly. It's going to have a happy ending. But if whatever the other dealer, second dealer you pick is like, no, you're still quite a ways away on the list, well, obviously let them know, I need to cancel my order with you. I'm getting a build. So I've got a VIN, I'm getting a build. So be fair with your dealer, because dealers that COVP properly also have very serious consequences if they don't deliver you that vehicle. You as well as a certain percentage. The result will be no vehicle builds for them for an entire month. So think of others, think of all those other people waiting for their Bronco, and don't cause them an extra month delay, or if this happens often, months and months, even years of apparently the potential consequence of breaking those percentages basically could be that you just don't get allotments apparently for a year. We'll see if that ever really does happen. But that's the word on the street. Sorry, honey.
And speaking of a second order, at the beginning I saw a question from John Pick. He said he ordered a Maverick first, and then wanted to order a second for somebody of his family, and his dealer said you need to put the second under your wife's name because you cannot have a second under your name. What do you think about that? Because you just said you can try to have another order.
Well, that'd just be at that dealer, and that would be an internal policy.
Oh,
so
okay.
Great question. That's how your personal dealer wants to play, and that's fine. But if you put in another order under your own name at another dealer, I don't see any issues with that whatsoever. For those of you that don't have a wife or husband and you live on your own, don't worry. You should still be able to do this. Now, definitely should. Now let's also talk about constraints. 2.7 liter EcoBoost, fantastic news. Ford knew how popular that motor is, and they're actually attributing 71% of Bronco builds. They've attributed 2.7 liters to go to those Broncos. And I say attributed because I'm convinced this is a matter of them playing with their orders and actually sending more 2.7 liters to the Bronco because of the long waits, because it used to be the easiest and fastest engine to get on an F-150. Used to be the 2.7 liter. Ford loved putting out Broncos with that combination, and now they're kind of like, yeah, no, pick another motor. So that's cool on Ford. How I see it, you know, I didn't get a memo that said that exactly, but when I look at the numbers being played around, that is my conclusion that I have drawn. Extremely precise speculation, you will call it. So next up on the list, the Lux package. A lot of people asked for that, so 44% on the Bronco, and also, of course, on the Maverick. You ask for Lux package, and so many people want Lux packages than are actually available. And on the Bronco, things are going so much better for the hardtop. Looks like we'll finally get builds on that Bronco. Tops built, hard tops built, but then at the same time we're getting more hard tops built, and life is going well because hard top is at 61%, which is more realistic with the actual demand. We got surprise news on our soft top, and actually our soft top isn't that bad. I saw it worse on a friend's soft top. He showed it out to me, and the little safety, when you fold back the roof on a Bronco, you get this little patch of plastic that's only there to support a sticker that says beware, your hand will get caught in the mechanism if you don't remove your hand. Kind of like trains having stickers on them that say if you stand on the tracks in front of the train, you'll get hit by the train and you'll perish. Ridiculous. But anyways, this piece of plastic that's to dummy proof everything, when you fold back your top, if your top folds in a certain way, it rubs against this plastic, and his is almost rubbed through. So probably when his has rubbed through, it's going to be under warranty. But in last night's video, this morning's video on the Bronco, I also showed where the piece of plastic. So hopefully there's been some amazing changes to the Bronco that I put out in that video. Watch them, because I don't want to turn this into a 3-hour live. But do watch it and show that I talk about the changes that have been made, and I really appreciate them. I think it's awesome on Ford, because usually changes like this happen more, like the Wild Track getting the Haas 3.0, a better sound system. Normally, you're lucky if you get that as a mid-model refresh. Normally, it's when you get the whole new model, because there's costs to changing how the factory builds things. So more speakers, better sound. I look forward to getting news to y'all on that. Now, those are the big ones, of course, on the Bronco. Absolutely avoid paint protection film. You pick that, you're basically saying you really, really don't want a Bronco. You just want to tell people that you have ordered a Bronco. You don't want to pay for it and actually own it. Brush guard, 16%. Again, these little things, get them at the accessory aftermarket. Hence why we're going to have this all added to our description. Maddie spent hours and hours, and I spent a couple hours because she had to run everything by me, looking at, what accessories are good, what is needed per different model. So we'll have a big chunk in our description saying like, hey, here are some links that will really help you out. Now, let's get to the Maverick. Really good to know on the Maverick. Bed liner spray, and they can make 40% of them, and pretty much all the orders ask for some sort of liner. So your salesperson may have no idea what's going on, and that's fine. They don't watch my show, and they don't watch Tim Bartz's show on Long MacArthur. That's okay, but you need to you watch, so have that removed, or don't add that onto your new order. And when you're converting, you can make changes. You can change package, and you can certainly say, oh, before I had a bed liner, let's take that off now. So getting to Q&A very quick because we're almost done. Lariat luxury package, 25%. And I'd say every Lariat build I know of, every single one of them locally has the luxury package. So when the factory can only put out 25%, you're putting yourself for a long wait. So avoid it if you can. Remember, there are aftermarket heated seats that can exist, but they'll cost about 1,000 Canadian. So keep in mind about $600-700 US. You've got XLT luxury package coming at 30%. Sounds better, sounds fine, but it's not, because way more than 30% of the people that ordered a Maverick want the luxury package. So if you can live without it, and you can't live with waiting a long time, get it out of there. Ford Copilot 360. The factory can do 60% of the Mavericks that roll out. They can have the Ford Copilot 360. And once again, obviously there's a bit of delay on this one. So a little bit more than 60% have asked for Copilot 360. And the 8-bed tie downs with locking rail. That's in the bed. You've seen my videos. Those shiny rails on the side with a little handle. That handle can move around, and was in all the luxury packages for 2023. They're removing it. Thank goodness, because the factory could put out 45% of those. And a lot of people added them, even if they weren't taking a luxury package. And there's just so many luxury packages. So constraint on a constraint. You want to get built faster? Don't have that. That is my advice to y'all. Now, honey, I feel you've been watching the comments go by. Let me know what's going on. We're doing Q&A now. Let's do it.
Perfect. So MPJ posted 2 times to make sure we see it. So it's a good one. So will I don't know if it's the right word, US 3.0 package only be available on the Wild Tracks? Or will it be optional on other trims like Badlands or other banks?
Official order guide's not out. My very, very, very strong suspicion is it's Wild Track only. They're gonna give people a reason to buy a Wild Track, make the Wild Track much more relevant. It's going to be your desert runner. And the Badlands, well, it gets the option of the stabilizer bar disconnect. So it's going to be pick your Badlands or pick your Wild Track. And we've had a Badlands, and now we have a Sasquatch Outer Banks, and that Sasquatch Outer Banks is fine. I can definitely, that is great suspension. So there's nothing wrong with that, and it's kind of our secret to getting a Bronco, like a second Bronco, ridiculously quickly.
Good. And Corner Kune says, can you explain the priority numbers? I have a priority 10. Sorry, I have trouble to speak today. I speak all day long. So is that good when you are priority 10?
It's great because now with Mavericks, what you could say is there's going to be no order once the conversions get done. In a certain sense, there's no order, but there is an order if your dealer is, on the ball, because they need to put their oldest ones priority 10. The oldest unbuilt Mavs. So the oldest conversions, they need to put priority 10. Use those that are within, 2 months of each other. Then the next 2-month section, they need to do priority 11. And then really they have between priority 10 and priority 19. And Ford looks at that priority. So the dealership needs to know what they're doing. New orders, they can put them, let's say, as the year progresses, they can start at, 14, then a month later, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. So when they get, months later, when they get a brand new one come in, put it 19 so that there's so much less chance of it jumping ahead of a 14, which is still a new order, but a new order from, let's say, 5 months earlier, and that there's next to no chance it jumps ahead of one of those 10 or 11s. So Ford has actually sent this to dealers. So let's hope everyone at your respective dealers knows how to read and remember the two very important R's when you're running a business. So they need to read, they need to remember, they need to note it, and either tattoo it on your foot or your hand or whatever, or post it in your office. But 10 and 11, Ford said, put 10s and 11s on those conversions. So Marie, basically this means you're going to be given a 10 when you get converted. We can't convert yet in Canada. You're going to be given a 10, but that means you're going to mix in with all those other 10s. So that's rough. And California, I hear you, Cali 4 2A. California is just horrible on markup across all models. That is the home of the 100,000 K over markup on a Mercedes. That was 49K turned into 149K. California is just ridiculous. It's ridiculously hot. It has ridiculous fires. It has ridiculous taxes. It has, sometimes ridiculous positions in politics. And sometimes they do just ridiculous. Here's an example. Just recently, they said by 2030, everything that gets sold needs to be electric. And they've had constant, regular blackouts, no electricity left, out of electricity. And then, of course, a week later that they announced this, they have a complete blackout and can't provide any electricity. So, good job. I don't know what else to say. I've got a sore. I'm cranky. I'm cranky. I've got a sore throat and I've had a cold all week long.
He speaks his mind.
I'm speaking my mind when I guess I'm sick. So while speaking of my mind, before we get to another question, I said I'd talk about don't be a new section on the show. Don't be one of those drivers. So yeah, don't be one of those drivers. BM, y'all know I got a beef with y'all. You don't use your blinkers, and that's dangerous. And when we're going to my high school reunion, that was a near death. BM jumps in front of a Porsche 911, without a blinker. Cuts back in, and we're like 120 feet behind that Porsche. Cuts back in again. Why? Because the person in front of him is going 100 kilometers an hour and he wanted to go 102 kilometers an hour. He almost killed 2 people in the same day and still didn't learn from the first situation. Now here's my beef. Don't be one of those drivers. We've got the Maverick hybrid. Let's not be like Toyota Prius hybrid drivers. I don't know how many times this happened to me, but I can't count them on one hand. And it happened this morning. Going down the highway, there's there's a bit of a long line, and of course at the front of the line, there's a hybrid doing 85 kilometers when the speed limit is 100, and really that should be a minimum because our vehicles are 10 times safer, brake 5 times faster than they used to, and that's a bit of an exaggeration, but more like 2.5 times faster. And the whole line on the highway is, dangerously driving because they're going 85, way below the speed limit. It's a hybrid, but this is worse. You have to merge onto the highway and then cut in left. The merging vehicle was one of those deathly Priuses. They bought that vehicle telling themselves that their stuff doesn't stink, they're better than everyone else because they're now saving the planet. Well, if they really want to save a planet, ride a bike or take the bus. Or if you have metro, take the metro in your region. But anyways, they've got their Prius and they go onto the highway at half the speed limit. So the speed limit in Canada is 100. They went on at 50 kilometers an hour.
In front of somebody.
In front of everybody. And then decided to use the next 300 feet to gain 10, maybe 15 kilometers an hour. Well, I had been in the left lane and needed to then cut into this merging lane because getting onto the highway is also a little reserved lane for getting off of the highway. He threw himself in front of me. Almost, if I didn't drive a Mustang, that, here's this little secret about the Mustang. You buy performance packages, you get 6-piston Brembo brakes and a bigger caliper. Now, you get a smaller caliper on your regular GT, but a smaller disc on the GT, but the caliper looks identical to the Brembo. So I think that's unmarked Brembo brakes. Either way, gosh, I love those brakes, and I prayed and thanked God afterwards. But that 85 kilometer an hour line, I wasn't tolerating. So I jump ahead of it because I'd like to at least do the speed limit. And then when I get ahead of it, I go to merge. But they jump out in front of me. They had seen me. I was already in the lane to be like, I want to get in. And instead of just waiting and letting me go by, clearly they didn't see that I was going a decent speed. And they merged at 50 kilometers an hour in front of me. My brakes saved my life. And just the same, they kept that speed. After almost killing me, they kept that speed and almost died themselves because I hope the 305 hauler is going to be watching this show either tonight in live or afterwards, because they continued to go basically 50 kilometers an hour, half the speed limit on the highway. And there had been doing a truck that he was finally happy that he got out of that, hybrid one causing 85 kilometers an hour speeds. He got out of it and he was doing about 110. So basically like regular drive, still lower than the regular left lane speed. But anyway, this vehicle, Prius, threw itself in front of it and almost had, maybe 25,000 pounds of vehicle. So I just want to mention, don't be that driver. Don't do it for yourself. Don't be that driver for yourself, but don't do it for other people on the road. And it is so horrible when people, speed in front of a transport truck and then slam on the brakes. Huge no-no. Don't do that. And don't merge into traffic in front of a sports car that's going kind of fast at half the speed limit. And when you do get on the highway, merge in. Step on that gas. I know you're trying to save 25 cents in fuel, but you already have a hybrid. You're already saving money. Don't do dangerous things to save a few extra pennies. That is just wrong. Yes, Ryan, I'm very salty today. My hamburger on the grill was a huge hamburger. Marie made these patties. They're steak sized and they had salt and pepper in them, but it wasn't enough salt to take away my saltiness. I am extremely salty tonight.
No more hamburgers for you.
Left lane pirates, M. Peugeot. I almost feel like I want to go into politics just so I can resolve some of the ridiculous things in society, like useless stop signs for three ways and left lane pirates. Left lane pirates can definitely cause accidents. You go below the speed limit in the left lane and you stay there. That's dangerous. So what can you do? What can you do? Now back to the questions.
Yeah. Is there a project date for the 2023 Maverick to begin production? Sorry.
Yeah, I have that. I did an episode on it recently, and I can actually get that if I play around with the computer, but I don't know what's faster, pulling it out on my computer or
Or do
sorry,
you remember
memory.
around
Of course,
when?
yeah. For the Maverick,
Yeah, if we
20,
don't have the
29th, it's right around the very end of October. So it was the 29th or the 30th of October. They're from memory, right around that ballpark. They're going to stop making 2022s. And then shortly after, they're going to start making the 2023s. Now, I'm sure someone in the community here has that exact number. And honey, while I talk tonight, if you do see one of the notes on the desk, you know
we
this.
have too much papers on the desk.
We need
with the guide.
Yeah, we need our classeur,
Yeah.
a classifier. Anyways, we need a cabinet where I can put all the papers based labeled and be like order dates. But yeah, we have it right here, and September 6th, so pretty close. As according to September 6th, the fleet scheduling information puts the Maverick order bank. They had put it at the 15th. It turned out to be that. So they had the 15th for quite some time. So glad I got that one based on this right. But I always said, you know, it wasn't confirmed. Things move around. And sometimes there is a small chance that fleet can be different than public. But I didn't suspect that to be the case. So the 15th was the day order banks opened for the US, not in Canada. They also say delays should be 18 to 20 weeks. Yeah, maybe if you're getting a super simple fleet model, like a straight XL with nothing. But for most of us, that's not the case. But do try to make your build as simple as possible. Get the extras from the parts department. But job one is the 14th of November. So the 14th of November, job one means they're doing job one. And job one, the number one job is to build 23 Mavericks for us. So despite back, I think it was February, Jim Farley had said that they needed to allocate more microchips to higher profit models. He didn't say like the F-150, but I back then had covered this news and said, yeah, like probably the F-150. And what's cool is I continued to see delays on the F-150, which means microchips continued to, go towards the Maverick. So I thought that was really cool on Ford's part. They didn't just completely stop making the Maverick. They didn't, cut production down to 1,000 or 2,000 units per month. After that news, I think we had months like 6,000 units for most of the months. Now the last month of production, the last 2 months of production, we're looking at about 4,000 per month. I think at full blast, full capacity, obviously, they can be making more. The highest month I think we got on the Maverick was about 9,000 builds. I don't have the exact numbers in front of me, but I've done shows on that in the past. They can always be found amongst the lists of videos that we have on the channel. Excuse me. So we've got a question.
Yeah, one from David Sanchez. Forget to place order for tow hitch on XLT Maverick. Are there advantages to having factory install?
Yes. Yeah, here's one where I know, and I'm happy you're mentioning this because I should have specified this. In the US, the hitch is $100 with electrical wiring. The electrical wiring to run it properly, not just the steel power from the backlights, which if the backlight burns out, you're not getting covered by warranty. So to do it properly, you're running that wire, lifting up all the carpeting, putting it under all the carpeting, plugging it up in the front, reinstalling everything. You're looking at about 4 to 5 hours of labor. So in the end, in Canada, your hitch would cost you, depending on the cost of the wires and the hitch and then the labor, you're looking at about $800 to $1,000 Canadian. So about $500 to $800 US dollars. It costs y'all $100 to order it from the factory. In Canada, it's $400, so it's still less expensive. So your dealer can add that on. That's fine. If you don't have a VIN yet, and even if you have a VIN, there's still chances they can add it on. And when they try to add it on, the system will tell them if it's a no-go. The system's going to say it's a no-go. So you tell the system, okay, well, keep the order as it was. Or it says you're good to go and it accepts the change. So just contact your dealer. They'll work that out for you. So that's for really any modification you want to make. However, when you're down to about the last 2 weeks before you get built, generally no modifications. Maybe you can slide a color change in there, but that's just the way it is.
Perfect. Another question I will leave you to you because I'm not that good in English.
Which one?
This one.
Okay, Mean Stroke. Yep. John B. Mean Stroke. Question. Can you get the private offer regardless of dealer? Or can you only get it from your original dealer regardless of how much they let you down in the past by not removing splash cards when asked? Oh man, that's a good one. So you've got a loser dealer right there. I'm so salty. I'm sorry. This isn't... I'm not being a very good Canadian. The Mounties are going to come after me. That is an unfortunate situation. So, yeah, they're losers. I'm salty tonight and I'm sticking with it. So that dealer didn't take off your splash guard, which is ridiculous. That's like, no, I'm not willing to do 5 to 10 minutes of work to get you your vehicle so much faster. Or it's because they want to make what, the $10, $7, $10 of profit from having that on your build. You got to be kidding me. So great news. In the past, of course, yeah, you needed to stick with your dealer because it's your dealer that would maybe do price protection or sell you the vehicle for thousands of dollars more when it shows up. Well, Ford's put in name match system. They've put in the COVP system. They're cracking down on dealers. And I've got a little piece of news to cover before we end this show. But here's the thing. Ford's now giving you a private offer by email. If you don't get a private offer, it's because your dealer never did a COVP. So double bad on them. They're the king of losers now. And they really, really are... what's a polite word for suck?
In English?
Yeah, they're really not doing their job properly. Now COVP, by the way, in Canada is brand new, so very different. But if you're in the States, COVP's been around. They should have done it. You don't get a private offer, so $1,750 private offer to your email. It's like a coupon basically for EcoBoost. $2,750 on the American side. A Mean Stroke, thank you for allowing my saltiness to not taint your opinion of me. I'm usually a polite Canadian. And M. Peugeot, the 5-round assault. Oh yeah, let's not talk about that. Anyways. So you're safe. You can change dealers. However, do realize that when you change dealers for your Maverick, you're starting back at 0, yes and no. So there's no real order now other than the priority your dealer gives you. So you can ask the other dealer, you can say, look, I'm coming over to you. Can you nonetheless give me a really good priority? Then watch my 10 steps video, you could call it. It's called Don't Get Robbed by Your Dealer. Don't get robbed by the dealer. 10 steps to getting the right price and the right build. So you'll go through that 10 steps video, note them all down, and go through all the questions, asking your dealer, making sure they answer appropriately and correctly. They need to know how to COVP. They do need to COVP you because then basically your order is basically an inventory order. So not good at all. So thank you, Mean Stroke. Thanks for letting me know that I've now adequately answered that so I can move on to other things. So I just want to mention dealers. I am so happy that dealers, there are some amazing dealers out there. There's some dealers that work so incredibly hard, like Tim Bartz at Long MacArthur. Him and his team, very hardworking. Very happy, and there are a lot of great dealers out there, but there's also a good number of really bad dealers out there. So Jim Farley, very cool. He's now given dealers a couple months to decide whether they're getting on board, playing ball, or just don't get to play the sport at all. So he's given dealers 2 months to figure out if they want to be an EV dealer and at what point they want to be an EV dealer. So basically it's either a $500,000 or a $1.5 million investment, depending on how deep you're going to go into the EV. So you invest more, you'll get more allotments. So that's cool. But they're signing right on to sell all those EVs at the same price. So EV profit margins for dealers are lower than regular models. Some of the money is actually attributed to making sure that the dealer puts in the proper trained mechanics, proper tools, just the lift for holding and moving around the battery and bringing down the battery, that's thousands and thousands of dollars. So there's a lot of equipment. Chargers, they're going to be about $150,000 per fast charger. So part of the pay structure, Ford is taking care of dealers and being like, yeah, this is money for infrastructure. This is actual money to, pay the lights, pay the salespeople, pay the wash people, pay everyone who's working in administration, everyone around the dealership. So that's what's going on with that. And dealers either need to get on board, and they will be selling at a fixed price, which is great. So everyone gets a good, fair deal, fair for the dealer to survive, fair to us customers, us buyers. And what's really cool is then at that point, you don't waste an hour negotiating. You spend an hour getting informed and learning and making sure you get the best vehicle that is the happy balance between what you want, what you need, and what you can pay. So, that perfect triangle, getting it right down so it's not all one-sided. So that's that, and that's great news. Now, before we wrap up the show, let's see if we have, one more question?
Yeah, maybe 2 or 3. But that's a quick question. So,
I'm sorry, I'm losing a bit of my voice.
About the 2023 Ford Maverick, is it worth to buy XLT over the XL? And Gary had that he said that the big difference is the wheel. But if you buy an XLT, maybe you could board the wheel you want. So what do you think about that?
It's funny. I was helping someone out with that just today, and they're like, you know what? I really don't. If I get tired of the rims, I'll buy my own Mav. So visually, the big difference, of course, are the wheels. One has a blue and gray interior, the XLT, black interior, mostly black and gray interior on the XL. Now, of course, you ideally will go through the order guide. You will recall that XL, I did a show on this, a very popular show just put out last night and had about 14,000 views. So thank you so much to the community for supporting us. But you get cruise control on the XL. But here's the thing. And XL has the touchscreen. I'll repeat, when you plug in your phone, you are going to have Android Auto and Apple CarPlay go on that. So really cool that it has both, but the seats are completely manual. Now the XLT, I like it here. I keep a order guide on me. Super important when answering questions. Your sales guy, if they don't have an order guide on you, bring your order guide with you. Print it off. Confidential stuff that ends up on the internet can be super helpful for y'all. Now the XLT, you go under what's standard and you can see what you like on that. So exterior, 17-inch aluminum wheels. You get the little cubby storage space in the bed. You get the cargo tie downs, extra ones, 4 extra ones. Who cares about the gray grill bar? Unless that's your flex on your neighbors, that's fine. I'm not here to judge. Maverick XLT fender badge. But here's the thing, mirrors, side view, manual folding, but they are power glass. So I also got a question this evening before the show. They said they want an electric seat and they want power mirrors. How do I get them on an XL? You don't, you get an XLT. So that would be your main reason. Now, I love the XLT and I did my original Don't Be Fooled build-in price on the XLT. Ended up, I think with last time I checked, I had about 260,000 views. So you guys are really, really kind to us. But here's the big thing, power tailgate lock. That's why, one of the big reasons I get an XLT. You've got stuff in your bed, you do the Costco. Costco now costs between 500 and 1,000 Canadian when you go. So, 30% less in the States, but nonetheless, you've got all sorts of expensive stuff. If you've got a cover on that, well, when you're walking away from the vehicle, you just press beep, beep, double lock. It locks every single door, including the tailgate. That is huge. Not getting robbed will pay for itself because you're not going to do an insurance claim because you got, your circular saw that you bought at the hardware store stolen or your groceries stolen. You're not going to claim that because most of us have deductibles of like $500 or $1,000 on our automobile policies to save money. So those are the big ones. I also, wiper activated LED headlamps. But you also get the parameter alarm, which is cool. And you get the keyless entry keypad driver's side. I love that. That is a huge one for me. It's huge. Why? Because we're when we're not doing the show, before we used to do this show, we used to have an active life. Now I'm just doing this all the time, and I love it. But we would go out hiking. We'd go out on the lake, boating. We were out and about. I used to ski, and I want to get back into skiing. So here's the thing. So many chances that you can ruin your completely electric digital key that costs hundreds of dollars, about $350 Canadian to buy and reprogram. You can just hide it in the vehicle. Now, insurance companies, I can't appropriately say this. I have to say, you're not allowed to do this. But if you're a rule breaker, you could hide your key in your vehicle. You can press the last two buttons, the buttons 7-8 and 9-0 on your key code, and it'll override. It's going to lock the vehicle just the same with the key in it. And then when you get back, you punch in your code. Make sure you haven't forgotten your code, because now you're in trouble. But punch in your code and you're back into the vehicle. You take out your hidden key, you put it in the ignition, and you take off. If it's a Lariat, the Lariat truck's not going to want to lock itself with a key inside unless you use that key code to override the system. You're telling the system, yes, I know there's a key there, but I am doing this deliberately. Just if your vehicle does get stolen with the key in it, you might not get covered by your insurance company. So I just want to point that out because I don't want any of you suing me because I gave you dangerous advice. Just like how Ford has to have a little sticker on an extra piece of plastic that's slowly ruining my soft top to say, don't keep your hand there when you're folding the top, otherwise you're going to pinch your fingers. So we all have our legal things that we need to say, but we can have our own opinions and do what we want. And that's something I like about freedom.
Perfect. Another question. Do you know about the price increase with the Bronco 2023?
Price increase, but we talked about all the price increase.
So
you'll want to go back to about the 40-minute mark on the show on replay. We talked about all those different price increases. We actually went through them one at a time. So Marie was probably thinking she'll never get to watch a TV show with me this evening. So I need to actually get to that. We'll do members live, a quick little one, about 10 minutes, just give different updates, a little bit of inside stuff as we wrap up the show. Now, are we wrapping up, or do we have one must answer question? We probably missed with the different questions coming in. We don't mean to.
Yeah, we tried. We received a lot of them.
Bring them to the next live every Friday. And when we say we're into the Q&A, just drop that question and ideally write at Johnny's Car Care and Reviews. It pops up in orange, making it very much easier for Marie to actually see what that question is. And you can always ask it. Like, there's nothing wrong with asking it 3-4 times. Yeah. If it's a question that we've already answered in the video, I'll even say, hey, we've already answered that one in the video. Let's not, repeat.
Yeah, and I feel some people at the end says, oh, I'm in this region and I just put an order for an hybrid, blah, blah, blah. How many times should I wait? But I know you already said it always depends on the priority, on the allotment of the dealership.
Yeah,
so
basically you need to ask your dealer, how many do you expect to get this year? Where am I on your list? If they say they're getting 100 Mavericks in a year, well, then you do the math. They're going to get roughly 10, 12 per month. And if they say that you're number 36 on the list, you're like, hey, cool, that's not bad at all. If they say they don't want to talk about it, well, maybe that's because they're going to get 50 for the year and they've got 400 what really at that point they're just pre-orders for future years. So I don't like a dealer that I'd rather someone say, hey, I don't have time to answer that question for you right now. I've got a lot of orders to convert and I'll get back to you. But at least they should give you a general idea, and then later on at a precise date be able to tell you exactly right where you are on their list. Mm-hmm. So that's going to wrap up the show because my lozenger is gone. And now the voice is completely, the throat is really scratchy. Sorry, I'm going to cough a whole bunch and then go into I'm going to cough off camera and do the member live in just a moment. Thank you all so much for watching. Really appreciate you guys were so generous tonight. So thank you so much. Yeah, congratulations to Michael Poroznik. I'm sorry for that, for the great news. That means you must have gotten a build. So congratulations to everyone that got a build. Thank you for sharing that good news. And we'll be back next Friday. And in the meantime, we'll have little shows for must-know information. Take care. Sanjib, thank you so much to the moderators, Sanjib and Ridgeview. Really appreciate everyone's help tonight. Thank you for your generosity. Do like and subscribe if you don't want to miss out on any of the information. And if you've made it this far, drop finisher. I'll know who makes it to the end of our videos. And special thank you to y'all who made it to the end. Thank you so much. Robin, the WB, the regular crew. Take care, Chris, Jean. Thank you so much tonight for the generosity. And thank you for making it to the end of the show. Thanks, everyone. Bless you all. Take care. And members, if you want to drop in for a quick little private Q&A and a little bit of extra intel. Hun, if you want to just drop...
Bye, everybody.
We'll drop the camera. Thank you.
Have a
Take
great
care.
night.
See you next time.